Right now, you're staring at your inbox, wondering why you have received 30 consecutive automated rejection emails. You check your resume, it is perfectly formatted. You used the exact keywords listed in the job description. You used a generative AI tool to ensure the grammar was flawless. You believe you have perfectly optimized your application for the modern labor market. You are operating under a catastrophic mathematical obsolete illusion. Your resume isn't being rejected by a person, it is being violently shredded by the GPT-5 new semantic logic. Traditional keyword stuffing is now a massive red flag that triggers an instant autofill. If your professional history looks like a bot wrote it, the black box algorithm will completely discard you before a human even blinks. The rules of job hunting just changed forever as of April 2026. GPT-5 screening doesn't care about your aesthetic formatting. It is actively hunting for latent intent and high-density human insight. I'm going to show you exactly how to dismantle these robotic filters and transform your resume into an unrejectable digital signature that bypasses the automation entirely. Stop optimizing your resume for the 2024 standards because you are literally teaching GPT-5 to reject you. Modern AI detectors are heavily penalizing the synthetic pattern and robotic syntax that used to get you hired. You need to stop being a passive data point and start showing the structural coherence that proves you aren't a large language model. Before I completely deconstruct the physics of the GPT-5 pearls, expose the plain language mechanics of Perplexity and Burstiness, and give you the precise architectural blueprint from my book, The 2026 Career Architect, to dominate the new algorithmic gatekeepers, hit the subscribe button and press the notification bell. I post daily videos showing you exactly how to navigate the global labor and capital market using cold, hard engineering logic. You do not want to miss these execution protocols. Stop fighting a 2026 machine with a 2024 strategy. Grab a notebook, it is time to rewrite your algorithmic DNA. Welcome back, I'm Dr. HR. To understand why my approach to the career architecture and human capital is aggressively different from the obsolete, superficial advice provided by our traditional resume writers, you must understand my underlying structural logic. I hold a PhD in Human Resources, a master's from prestigious Tata Institute of Social Sciences TISS in Mumbai, and a bachelor's in Computer Engineering. I do not look at a resume as a personal biography. I look at it as a highly targeted algorithmic payload. Operating on the ground here in Dubai since 2010, consulting for Tier 1 corporate entities, sovereign wealth funds, and global banks, I have monitored exactly how the apex executive layer has upgraded their recruitment infrastructure. The human recruiters has been removed from the top of the funnel. The machine is in the absolute control. Let us systematically deconstruct this silent through the 5 distinct phases: the GPT-5 extermination, the insider's only secret, the synthetic penalty, architecturing structural coherence, and an unrejectable signature. Phase 1, the GPT-5 extermination, the fear-based provocation. We must first diagnose the exact physical danger of a trajectory you are currently on. If you are currently applying for elite roles, you must understand that the applicant tracking system of the past are dead. The old ATS was simply rudimentary database. It used a technology called regex, a regular expression. It simply scanned your document, counted how many times you used the word leadership or agile, compared it to the job description, and gave you a scope. Because the old machine was dumb, human beings learned how to game it. We stuffed our resume with keywords. In April 2026, deploying that strategy is a mathematical death sentence. Tier 1 corporations have integrated GPT-5 level semantic screening logic into their entire HR infrastructure. This new system does not count words. It evaluates context. It utilizes advanced attention mechanism to understand the relationship between the words on your page. If the system scans your resume and sees that you copied and pasted the exact phrases from the job description, cross-functional team leadership, dynamic problem solving, strategic synergizing, it recognizes the attempt to game the system. In the old days, this was called optimization. Today, GPT-5 logic flags it as a semantic anomaly. The machine understands that the true apex operator does not speak in generic corporate buzzword. An operator speaks in a localized, highly specific data. When the algorithm sees keyword stuffing, it categorizes your application as deceptive and low effort. It assigns you a negative trust score. You're automatically filtered into a rejection bin. And human hiring managers never ever receives a notification that you applied. You are fighting an invisible war and you are losing because your ammunition is obsolete. Phase 2, the April 2026 SIFT, the insider's only secret. To bypass this extermination, you must understand exactly what the new machine has been programmed to hunt for. The rules changed permanently in April 2026. The GPT-5 screening doesn't care about your formatting. It is hunting for latent intent and a high-density human insight. Let me translate these complex machine learning concepts into plain, actionable language. Latent intent, meaning that the underlying truth behind what you achieved. The machine is looking to see if you actually understand the physics of the problem you solved, or if you were just a bystander in the room. High-density human insight means the specific, messy, unglamorous friction that only a biological human being would know how to navigate. Let us look at the dramatic difference between how an amateur and an apex operator feed data to the machine. The amateur, the low density, managed the implementation of a new HR software on time and under budget, demonstrating excellent communication and leadership skills with multiple departments. The GPT-5 screening logic reads this and assigns it a value of 0. It is entirely devoid of latent intent. It is a generic, it is an opinion. The apex operator, the high-density human insight, architected the migration from legacy on-premise server to Oracle SCM Cloud, identified a critical data mapping failure between the payroll and onboarding module that threatened a 14-day operational blackout, deployed Lean Six Sigma value stream mapping to bypass the API bottleneck, manually writing the bridging logic to execute the deployment 48 hours ahead of schedule, securing a 2.4 million dirham in payroll continuity. When the advanced neural network scans the second version, algorithmic fireworks goes off. It reads Oracle SCM Cloud, the API bottleneck. It sees the exact messy corporate friction, a data mapping failure. It registers the specific, highly technical human intervention, Lean Six Sigma value stream mapping. It validates a mathematical outcome, EED 2.4 million secured. This is a high-density human insight. The algorithms knows that a faker or someone who just used ChatGPT to write their resumes would never include the highly specific, agonizing detail of an API integration failure. By including the structural friction, you prove your latent intent. You prove that you were the architect in the trenches, not the manager sitting in the comfortable office. You dismantle the robotic filters by feeding them the complex reality that a machine cannot invent. Phase 3, the synthetic penalty, the pattern interrupt challenge. You must address the most dangerous trap currently destroying the careers of millions of professionals, the misuse of a generative AI. When the OpenAI released ChatGPT, the entire global workforce rejoiced. They stopped writing their own cover letters and resume. They pasted their work history into the prompt box and commanded the AI to make this sound professional. The AI outputted flawless, polished, grammatically perfect paragraph. You must stop optimizing your resume this way immediately. You're literally teaching GPT-5 to reject you. The HR screening systems of 2026 are equipped with aggressive AI detectors. They are engaged in a bot-to-bot warfare. When a GPT-5 scans a document, it evaluates two specific mathematical metrics, perplexity and burstiness. Let me translate this perplexity in a measure of how predictable a sentence is. Because AI models are trained to predict the next most logical word, the text they generate is highly predictable. It is a low perplexity. Burstiness is a measure of variation in sentence length and structure. AI model writes it in a very uniform, rhythmic, and monotonic structure. They have a low burst. Human beings, especially highly intelligent operators under pressure, do not write like that. Human thoughts is chaotic, dynamic, and structurally variable. We have a high perplexity and high burst. When you use a standard LLM to write your resume, the text has low perplexity and low burst. The GPT-5 screening logic reads the first paragraph, recognizes its own algorithmic signatures, and trigger the synthetic penalty. The logic is brutal and unyielding. If a candidate could not be bothered to expend the biological caloric energy required to articulate their own career achievement, they are a low average passive employee. The system immediately flags the document as a synthetic and routes it to an auto-fail bin. You must execute a pattern interrupt challenge. You must intentionally inject high perplexity and high burstliness into your professional document. You must write with sharp, asymmetrical sentence structures. You must use visceral, industrial vocabulary that breaks the smooth, robotic syntax. You must stop being a predictable data point. Phase 4. Architecting the structural coherence, the antidote. To survive the synthetic penalty and pass the semantic screen, you must build structural coherence. Structural coherence means that every single data point on your profile aligns perfectly to construct a verified, undeniable narrative of operational dominance. The machine is looking for a logical consistency across time. If your resume claims you are a master of corporate restructuring, but your timeline shows you leaving companies exactly when the complex merger occurs, the AI detects a behavioral anomaly. It seems a massive gap between your claimed expertise and your historical execution. To build structural coherence, you must deploy the problem-action-result friction, the PARF architecture. The traditional advice was just a problem-action-result, but the 2026 AI gatekeepers requires the friction element to verify human involvement. Let us apply this to Dubai logistics and supply chain sector. Problem. The Jebel Ali port facility was experiencing a 12% container routing delay due to an obsolete tracking software costing AED 500,000 dirhams monthly. Action. Deployed a custom localized tracking architecture using IoT sensors. The friction. The coherence trigger. The legacy warehouse flow managers actively resisted the digital integration, threatening a unionized work stoppage. Result. Executed a psychological change management protocol securing the floor level buy-in and deploying the sensors and dropping the routing delay to 2% within 60 days. The inclusion of the friction, the human resistance from the floor manager, is the ultimate algorithmic bypass. An AI language model would never naturally hallucinate the messy, irrational, emotional resistance of a warehouse manager. The machine assumes the world operates logically. By injecting the irrational human element, you mathematically prove to the GPT-5 screener that you are a biological operator who navigates complex, unautomatable reality. You prove that you are not an LLM. You prove that you are an essential human node required to lead the corporation through chaos. Phase 5. The Un-Rejectable signature execution. We have diagnosed the GPT-5 extermination. We have exposed the need for the latent intent. We have exposed the need for the latent intent. We have mapped the synthetic penalty and we have architected the structural coherence. The final phase is the physical execution. You must transform your profile into an unrejectable digital signature. You must strip away the vanity and focus entirely on the algorithmic payload. Step 1. Destroy the formatting. If your resume contains massive graphics, dual column layout, custom font, or embedded photographs, you're destroying your own optical character recognition OCR footprint. The AI hates complex formatting. The AI wants clean, linear text. Your resume must be a minimalistic, brutally stark document. It must look like an engineering schematics, not a marketing brochure. Step 2. Eliminate the objective statement. No one cares about your objective. The machine certainly does not care what you are seeking, a challenging role in a dynamic company. Replace your objective statement with an architectural summary. Example, senior operations architect specializing in Lean Six Sigma latency reduction, Oracle SCM cloud deployment, and a multi-million dirham change management in hyper-growth MENA market. This feeds the algorithm massive semantic weight in the first 3 seconds of the scan. Step 3. The sovereign operator mindset. You must fundamentally shift your psychological posture. The amateur applicant begs the machine for an interview. They tweak their resume 50 times a week, desperately hoping to find the magic keyword combination that will unlock the door. They operate from a position of a profound weakness. The sovereign operator commands the machine. You understand that the corporation is terrified. They are terrified of hiring the wrong person. They are terrified of deploying capital on a synthetic candidate who use ChatGPT to fake their competence. They built the GPT-5 screening logic not to torture you, but to protect themselves from semantic failure. When you deliver a document structured with high-density human insight, asymmetrical burst, and raw structural coherence, you are not applying for the job. You are delivering the exact antidote to their organizational fear. The machine scans your document, it measures the semantic weight, it verifies the friction, it calculates your cognitive velocity. It does not reject you. It cannot reject you. The neural weight aligned perfectly and the algorithm flags you as a mandatory apex acquisition. It bypasses the entire HR hierarchy and routes your unrejectable digital signature directly to the executive boardroom. Look closely at the document you're currently sending into the market. Does it look like it was written by a polite, generic AI bot? Does it rely on an obsolete keyword of 2024? If it does, you are walking blindly into algorithmic slaughterhouse. Stop playing a game that ended 2 years ago. Enhance the brutal physics of a new semantic logic. Inject the messy, undeniable friction of your human execution. Build your structural coherence and forge your unrejectable digital signature. Process the data, execute the strategy, and I'll see you at the top.